Welcome back. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone Rovi Inscribed. Today, we hear that Ordinals are dead.
We've been hearing it, I guess, for the last few days.
Yeah.
Actually, we've been hearing it. Either Ordinals are stupid, or why are you guys even like paying attention to that? Don't you know Ethereum is like the way?
Right.
Right. But now we're really starting to hear it because there's been some volume tapering off and stuff. So we're here to, guys, I guess, kind of do like a little regular bitmap update for one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's talk about it. Like, whether or not Ordinals are dead for good. Failed experiment, yes or no? Bitcoin really is just a store of value.
Right.
Laser Axe maxis, they won. Or not.
Right,
and then
right.
what do we do from here, right?
Yeah, and the reason we keep talking about bitmaps is because it's one of the few projects that aren't a picture project. So there's a lot to be done with bitmaps.
Yeah, not a picture project, and one of the actual true like innovations, I think, to come from natively from Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like there's never been a metaverse standard, like an ecosystem that's truly decentralized and community originated.
Yeah, and we've looked hard.
Yeah, for the metaverse, right? It never happened on ETH. So this is something to continue to focus on, right? Because there's always expansion happening.
Yeah, so some bitmap updates. So bitmap.community, new block tributes just dropped 700 plus block tributes sourced from the community submissions. So all of them have been added to their project, bitmap.community.
So that's interesting. That's a pretty big number.
Yeah. So some of those block tributes include honor historical moments of Bitcoin and bitmap history. Tons of new block tributes, notable events. Ross.
Somebody say punk is a punk. Is a Mondrian.
Mondrian.
So those are important.
So curious about the total supply of block tributes. We got you covered. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, and here's a method to submit more block tributes. So a disclaimer, we sorted through 700 community submissions by hand. We missed some, and if there's a mistake, definitely DM these guys. And so that's cool. So more ability for people to find value within their bitmaps.
Correct. Yeah, this is important because we had a recent discussion with Track, and that podcast should be out this weekend, correct?
Yes, Saturday.
And it really kind of like opened our eyes to the importance of indexers in this ecosystem, specifically in the ordinal space. And man, indexers basically God tier.
Yeah.
Providers of value and function and like information and truth, right? All the things that we need in this space, right? So these guys in particular have aggregated a very niche indexing process, I guess, to service this very specific, block tribute angle.
Yeah, so there's a ton of upside for what they're doing, right? They can not only just index the information that people are looking for, like block tributes, but also maybe enable some functionality as a result of that.
I wonder how. What you're thinking? What's cooking in your mind, dude?
Digital matter theory, as they say.
Okay. Yeah, you're totally right. So this could be extendable into many different directions, right? So this is good. Another indication of growth, right? There's a lot of different like metrics. It isn't just floor price, right, that we need to look at.
Yeah.
We're always the biggest advocates for developer growth and the value that they build, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so moving on. So
speaking of that,
inscribed.space going ham every
single day, dude.
Yeah.
We got a new Jake Paul in the
every
Ordinals
day,
space.
bro. Yeah.
Every day, bro, he's building updates, and he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, 100%. So what he's doing is he's making a metaverse completely on chain. So every little asset that you see here in this virtual environment are its own inscriptions.
Yes.
And so I believe he was like in a space. I was listening to him talking about having a completely on chain metaverse and being able to have a builder for people to kind of mess with. Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built Inscribed, the first inscription platform built from the ground up for the metaverse on Bitcoin. Connect your bitmap ordinals and use our tools to bring your community into the virtual realm. Support us by joining the movement at inscribed.io. Like, comment, and subscribe for the latest alpha. Back to the video.
Correct.
Yeah, so minimizing the size of the inscribed file. So remember, to inscribe something, you have to be under 4 megabytes or significantly under 4 megabytes.
Correct.
And then you can deploy that asset onto this virtual environment.
Yeah, look at that interface right there, dude. Looks like the beginnings of an actual, like tool. Yeah. Like something that users are going to be able to leverage to build out their virtual environments. And that is what everybody's like hoping for and waiting for, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So this is a big freaking deal.
Yeah, and just remember that even though this is a version of the metaverse, this won't be the only version. There's going to be all kinds of markets, right? On-chain metaverses, off-chain metaverses.
Correct.
Assets on-chain, like all kinds of mixtures of these like different aspects of crypto.
1,000%. Yeah. So there's different developers working on different, I guess, iterations of like tangible value creation within like the bitmap ecosystem, right? So this is just one interpretation of that, and who knows, this might become like the most popular one.
Yeah, correct.
It's like, I don't know.
The invisible hand decides, right? It's what people want, right? They're gonna vote with their dollars, right?
Yeah, it's all gonna be about like the UI, the user experience at the end of the day, right? Like how easy is it to use, and then what's the value I can generate from it, right? So already right here, he's displaying that you can, create words that are 3D renderable in your virtual space, right?
Yeah.
That can already be, you can already theory craft, like, what can I do with that? Oh, advertising or something.
That's right.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah, anything. All right, so we have another tweet here. It says new bitmap directory additions. So there's a Git book with all activity happening on bitmap being curated and added to this list.
It's pretty extensive. Like if you just click on it, and let's just do like a quick glance through of like how, because if you want like an actual mind visual of like how the ecosystem is expanding in real time, this is the Git book to go to.
Nice. All right, so we got bitmap theory docs, Bitfeed Explorer, mempool. So this is the beginning, and let's go to experiences.
Hey, look, I think we're on this one, dude.
There we are, Inscribed.
Yeah,
cool. So we got a bitmap terrain. So they're leveraging the idea of DMT. They're making the terrain based on the data of Bitcoin's blocks.
Correct.
We got bitmap valley with Chris from IMSO Chris. Bitmap.land, that's Bitoshi, and bitmap dev. Bitverse with Foxy. There's a chance we might interview this guy pretty soon.
Yeah. So there's a lot.
Mscribe, yeah.
So the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And then there's different separate categories of, on the left-hand panel, you could just kind of like start sifting through.
Yeah.
And this directory gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So shout out to the upholders of this and everybody contributing to this. Yeah,
this is a very important kind of directory here. So
1,000%. Yeah.
All right.
So that's just bitmap, right? So we gotta keep our eyes on bitmap's progression from here on out. We just have to, because like I said, this is one of the true points of innovation from within the Bitcoin ordinal space.
Yeah, and on top of that, we're contributing to it.
Correct. So, but outside of that, okay, so everybody's claiming ordinals are dead, or specific people, I guess.
Yeah.
And
let's take a look what that looks like. So what does it mean that ordinals are dead? So it says, so this guy, Will Swoosh, he says Bitcoin ordinals went from 100 to 0 real quick.
What went wrong?
So what went wrong says blockchains by NFT sales volume, right?
And it's funny because like whenever Bitcoin was actually on top, none of these people who are like now shouting at the rooftop calling it dead, like we're like, oh, what happened, guys? They weren't over there like flabbergasted, like, wait, what the fuck? How's Bitcoin #1 now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the tweet that says what went wrong with Ethereum.
There was never a tweet preceding it where it's like, well, what is happening with Bitcoin? Like how?
Yeah.
Bitcoin on the NFT charts,
right?
What's happening, guys? Didn't see none of that, right?
Yeah. So it's easy to kind of point this stuff out.
Yeah.
But moving on here. So this is just another tweet. Metaverse, shout out to Metaverse. He says, look at all the stuff that's happening within ordinals. How could it possibly be dead?
Yeah.
So we got inscribed handle is an ordinal, bitmap is an ordinal, recursive inscription are ordinals, tap protocol. All these things are like recent developments.
Correct.
In the grand scheme of things. And so it's hard to kind of take a look at what's actually happening in the ordinal space and calling it dead.
Right, but it's because people they rely on like surface level metrics like volume or like again floor prices, and that is the level of due diligence that people most people want to, I guess, exercise out of pure laziness or pure bias, whatever it is.
Yeah, it just seems so weird to me to leverage price as like the only metric of importance.
Well, these are the speculators, right? These are the people who are only looking for like, oh, where am I going to get extractive? Like, where am I going to like participate in the market and exploit? So,
but I would think that now's the time to be like very hot and bothered and trying to get in.
Yeah, so if you see something that has significant volume at one point and then it's down, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to investigate, like, oh, this might be like an actual buying opportunity, but everything's on like discounted value, right? Let's do some actual due diligence to see if I can identify anything of fundamental value that's being constructed.
So I feel like these tweets should be a little bit more, optimistic. It's like,
yeah, it would be like seeing Bitcoin go up in like what 2013. Hit $1,000 and seeing it come back down to 100 or whatever, be like, oh, I guess Bitcoin's dead. That's how most people reacted, myself included.
Yeah.
And I ended up fading Bitcoin instead of doing my due diligence and like coming into that market, identifying an opportunity, and that would have been like the best decision of my life.
Yeah,
but dude, I fucked up, dude.
Such a good point.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. So it says just some evidence that ordinals are dead. It's like, by the way, we have 24 million inscriptions.
Right.
Each one is its own.
Oh, by the way, Ordinals has only been like live for 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, correct. That's 24 million inscriptions. That's significant liquidity has been injected into the non-fungible side of Bitcoin.
Correct.
Right. And then finally here we have Ordinals inscriptions over time. Last 8 months. This is what happens.
It's quite the dogpiling of activity. So just indications that, calling things dead or going 100 to 0 based off of purely, I guess, like market volume is it's not a good move, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not a good move.
All right. Finally, Bob Bodley is always coming out with really good content. Ordinals volume is down and it feels fantastic. He says, we're in a bear market. Bear is for the builders. Hype, attention, VC interest. Hundreds of builders, renaissance on Bitcoin, more BTC interest than the past 3 years. I totally agree. We've been doing this podcast for 4 years. Every now and then we talk about Bitcoin, and when we had talked about Bitcoin, we got a little traction on our videos.
Yeah.
But we always talked about Bitcoin because it was the signal for all of crypto.
Yeah.
But now that we've been talking about Bitcoin for the last 3 or 4 months, like those are the most popular videos that we've had.
Yeah. Yeah, and without a doubt, this is the most interesting Bitcoin's ever been, like in its history, right?
For sure.
So, I mean, traditionally we've been involved in bear markets before. This is the time, the most important time, right, where you should be paying attention.
Yeah.
Because, the ones who are building actual fundamental value in these markets, during the next leg up cycle, they're going to see the most return, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at tweets where everyone was claiming ordinals are dead. So let's take a look around and see what else is happening, right? So this tweet by Borvik, he says, how much further until the NFT bottom? So we got the blue chips of NFTs ranging from 99% down as of right now.
Yep. So this is the interesting thing because a lot of these people who are calling out ordinals are probably holding legacy NFT bags, right? So
much of this, and
it's just, to me, it's mind blowing. Like you could be down, so maybe it's just like a coping mechanism. It's like, man, I'm down, I'm hurting real bad over here, so let me just like shit on anybody else who's doing something else. Maybe they're experiencing something of a little bit more towards the upside, even if it's just sentiment, not so much like monetary value, whatever. I want everyone to feel as equally shitty as I do at this moment, right?
Yeah.
So let's call everything else dead. Even though like the metrics show collectively, like this whole Web3 space, we're all hurting at the same time.
Right.
In comparison to like where we were a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So like the sentiment shouldn't be like, let's see who we can kind of like dogpile on top of as a coping mechanism. It should be, how are we all going to kind of like bring ourselves out of this mess?
Yeah.
Right? What needs to be done?
Yeah.
How do we fix this?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, because
it's not about like what chain you're on. It's like, how are we actually going to innovate some new product or some new service for humanity, right?
The majority of what we're looking at is a bunch of pictures. Yeah. And so I don't know what can be done with pictures to kind of reverse this trend.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult no matter what.
Yeah, and even in Ordinals' case, like Ordinals did experience pretty good hype cycle, and a lot of it was either pictures or meme tokens from BRC20s, right?
Yeah. So naturally, of course, they're going to go down. There's not a whole lot of stuff that you can do with that.
Yeah, the substance isn't there in all market cases, right? In all chain sectors, whatever you want to call it, right? So, yeah, the discussion should be more about how do we get better. Like, what we shouldn't all be like freaking out that Frank the God's the guy who has like the #1 picture project out there. He did a flop of a drop, right? Yeah. And it's signaling like it's all over for NFTs. We need to kind of like evolve and morph past this idea. Like, yeah, we're just gonna be flipping Jpeg cards with one another, and that's the big innovation of Web3.
Yeah, correct.
It's not going to happen. Even on Ordinals, it's not going to happen.
I totally agree. All right, so finally, Anorak, number of weekly NFT traders continue to fall, 50,000 from 250,000, weekly volume down, so more negative sentiment, right? Mm-hmm. Current weekly volume down even worse, 10 million of the 15 million. Even also OpenSea is also down. So the whole sector, like you're saying, is experiencing some
tremendous downside.
Yeah.
And again, this is like the pit of despair. You expect this like from a market psychology standpoint. People are upset.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do moving forward, right? So this is I guess, call to action to the whole space, dude. We all need to kind of rethink what value we're going to bring to the world, right?
And that's why we're talking about this, because people that are building during the bear market, those are the people that you should be paying attention to.
Yeah,
we've said this in the last bear cycle, and we're going to say it again. Pay attention to those that are continuously building, because they're the ones who have some belief in like the actual technology, and they're not there to just like take 325,000 ETH in volume from Moonbirds, which is down 95%.
Yeah.
It's like the builders during the bear, pay attention to them.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and focus also on like, where's the next, like, I guess, sector of utility going to come from, I think. I mean, people like to say utility is a meme because a lot of like, bad actors have leveraged that word of, oh, these are utility NFTs.
They're governance tokens.
Right. Or like, access passes basically.
Yeah,
and then
access passes, yeah.
That really take you nowhere, So that's not the real utility of what can be brought. So
we need to continue innovating, continue focusing on what else can be done with NFTs and non-fungible anything on any chain.
Yeah.
And then build from there and see what happens.
100%. So this is the whole point of having a bear market, right? We get to kind of like, regroup or reground ourselves and, okay, yeah, we're probably not going to come back from just pictures. So what do we do next? And, and let's mature a bit, right? This is how markets mature. This is why we have up and down periods, right?
Yep.
Just like the .com boom happened, right? The up period is like, yeah, we just need to slap .com on anything. And then, it's going to be a success. It's like, no, you actually need to build a business.
Yeah.
You need to build like an infrastructure like Amazon did.
Yeah. Provide value.
Correct. You need to actually make the lives of people better. Things like this.
Yeah.
Right. So let's do more of that, right?
Yeah.
And I think we'll get out of this trench.
Yeah, and that's it for us. I appreciate you guys for watching. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Follow us on all our Twitter accounts. And thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.